I now invite the guests to be on stage. Ms. Mena Ahasher, e-content alchemist and activist, advisor to the Minister, C. White, Council of Ministries, Board of Directors, World Summit Award WSA. Mr. Zikry Kholil, now co-founder, Incitement, Global Executive Officer, Forbes 30 Under 30 Asia. Mr. Joe Lee, co-founder of Kuaidi. Mr. Stephen Lee Kwante, founder and CEO of MoneySQ.com. Mr. Jimmy Teo, Managing Director and CEO of Vitagrants International Biotechnology Limited, and our host for the forum, Mr. Clarence Lang, Chairman Emeritus of the Y.Elites Association. May I invite all the guests be on stage?
Hello, a very good evening, everybody. First of all, welcome. I would like to thank you, the organization, for inviting me all the way from Malaysia, truly Asia. And thank you for having us all up here. It's an honor to be here, and I'd definitely like to share how what I started was a simple movement 5 years ago and turned it into a social business the past 2 years. It drills down to one question, in my humble opinion at that time, where I keep, as a youth, as a 25-year-old back then in 2011, I keep going to so many talks, but a lot of them never resonated with me. And just because we were looking for, as a young guy, very rebellious guy, looking for something that will make you do something, to act on ideas that's being shared on stage. So what we decided was to have a simple gathering of people who are interested to take more action, and we would give missions to our speakers. By your mission as a speaker is to inspire the audience to make them take action at the end of the day. And that's how the movement started, to get people to incite positivity in the form of goals, shared knowledge. And people started to ask each other, how can they do this, do that? And then what we did was we just gave the plug-in, the call to action, which has always been missing in most events if you really thought of it. And from there, people recognize, that the fact that we're not just a event-based anymore. It's more about taking action on issues, real-world issues that you are having issues with. And forward 5 years from now, we are now in 45 countries. A lot of the incitement, most of the incitement communities, incitement talks around the world have also went through the transition from a movement-based to a social enterprise-based. And all of us are aligned in a way where we want to have a grassroots, bottom-top way of trying to get people to do more action by starting their own initiatives. I was told by Clarence that in Hong Kong this has been done for quite some time, which I did not know, and it's great that this framework works. And now what countries are doing with Incitement is the fact that they use Incitement as a platform to spur more communities to take action. And the thing is, people forget that a lot of if you look back in the past decades or centuries, a lot of these revolutions, good or bad, all started with people gathered. And what inspired them to do that? It's not by a problem that they face every day and out of anger. It's someone leading. And when you lead people and inspire them and you give them the call to action on how can we act on it, that's when change starts to happen. And till this day, going to an event when you're inspired, you felt compelled, you're crying, you're reflecting, it's still more impactful than what people are trying to say going online. I'm always a believer of offline translate to online. So it's been there. It's just the fact that our youngsters, the trend has shown that a lot of these events these days needs to focus more and angle the way, how can you lead them by taking initiatives. It could be self-growth. It could be having an issue in a community where there's so many homeless people and looking for out-of-the-box solutions. And for us, social innovation is how we interpret social innovation is, it's a noble solution where not one individual is impacted, but the entire society, with a component of focusing on sustainability. Now, to get there, it's also another notion of sharing on getting started. Everybody started somewhere. Everybody on the stage started somewhere. So that opportunity is still the same with all the other people who attended Incitement. Now, our market is never going to be, the commercial norms. For us, business term-wise, you have 4 billion people who are pretty much our market. And why I say 4 billion people is because that 4 billion people still fall under the umbrella of having, not having toilets, no access to toilets, sanitation, no access to drinking water, no access to accessible to lights, even financial services. There's still 2 billion people around the world who don't have access to banks, which is for me a bit crazy because we're living in a developing, very fast globalized world, and you still find out these things happen. Now, how would I know this? It's just because the people on the bottom are crying for it. And the way they can take action on looking for out-of-the-box initiative is by getting together, inspire them, find a different experience where they can go through and get them to be the leaders of the community and lead for whatever that they find glory is. So that pretty much is what Incitement is in a nutshell. And how we sustain ourselves is we get big brands. As you know, a lot of corporate companies are always looking for opportunity to rebrand themselves as a brand that cares about the community. So they would use Incitement as a platform to advertise themselves, where the advertising amount is focused on the social projects, so they can run that project itself, and at the same time they get a good name out of the brand, branding perks per se. So that's how we do it pretty much. Not so sophisticated, but again, very simple, very easy, and I do not know why people have never thought of that. It's a simple way of trying to, have all the stakeholders happy, from audience-based social projects with high impact that contribute back to the community and the brands. So I think I've talked too much already, so I think I'll end here.
Thanks a lot, Zikry. So you think you inspired the audience here?
Come again?
So you think you inspired the audience here?
Is everybody inspired by that? Yes or yes? No.